moving to the upside. Dow on Thursday was up 430 points. Friday backed it up with another 360 points. Then you look at the NASDAQ, it was up 93 points Thursday. Then you go to Friday, 300 points. So an amazing turnaround in the latter part of the week, no doubt about that. We talk about volatility all the time, as I say, push towards that 30 number. We actually finished out the week somewhere below 19, call it 1880, somewhere in that ballpark, but an amazing week, an amazing volatile week, and certainly we even saw a lot of unusual movements, including on crude. You see oil, you see a lot of what's going on, and obviously the focus last week, and it's interesting that it's suddenly getting so highlighted, but inflation, and we've been talking about that for a while. People are looking at all these various entities, and you look specifically at crude because it's always been the one that's right in front of us. But look at lumber, look at copper, look at iron ore, look at steel, look at all of those, and you get the idea. And this has been going on for a while. It's not something that just suddenly descended upon us. But I'll tell you what, great volumes once again, about just under 39 million contracts. So we were just below those 40 millions that we hit a couple of times last week, but nonetheless, really, really busy and a great week of volatile trading. And hopefully you had an opportunity to understand it a little bit better because of some of what we've talked about here, as well as Market Rebellion, and trying to understand the derivatives markets as much as you can. Certainly Tesla, Apple, AMC, all three of those had a monstrous day on Friday, as a matter of fact, and some volumes above well over a million. Matter of fact, Tesla traded 1.6 million contracts alone. So a very, very busy couple of days to finish out the week. So some of what was really propelling the markets definitely on Friday to the upside was you take a look at STX. Now, we talk about Seagate once in a while, Western Digital. We put those two names together. Seagate was up over 12% on Friday. Everybody talking about crypto, and because of that, all of a sudden the shift comes over and they're talking about the demand for hard drives and all the rest of it, and crypto itself just getting all parts of different areas of what we call the quote unquote semiconductor area. And certainly that was strong. You also take a look at Western Digital. That had a pretty nice day as well. The high multiple names were absolutely on fire going into the weekend. You look at DocuSign, you look at Zoom, you look at Snow, you look at Airbnb, you look at Fastly. Snowflake, that one's pretty interesting because of the fact we had that unusual activity, and bang, did that thing ever take off. Unbelievable. They were buying the 205s, had a really nice run, and that run even continues today. The one thing we always talk about here is discipline dictates action. So understand when you put your different positions on, you've already have to have some sort of a plan in terms of how you're going to get out of some of those positions as well. So just letting you know how we think about it. And we certainly have, everybody's got their own disciplines, but to have some kind of discipline, always very important. So energy, definitely leading the markets. And when I say energy, how about those beta names once again? XOP, just take a look at that specific ETF. That'll give you a great view of what I use the expression beta. These are the names, and certainly a nice move to the upside, nearly a 6% move to the upside on Friday. So that was strong. You looked at the SMH, that was up 3%. Biotech up 3.5%. And you look over at tech up about 2%. Every single sector finished in the green. So a really nice close to Friday. Now, coming into today, it felt at least in the pre-market, felt a little bit like, wow, are we back to Tuesday, Wednesday, or are we going to start sniffing around towards Thursday, Friday? Well, so far, it's been a little bit closer to Tuesday, Wednesday. A little bit of pressure on the market, a little bit of that, again, starting to focus on inflation numbers and so forth. And you see a little bit of pressure on the markets. And it really started off early. You look at the pre-market, yeah, the Dow was down, but the NASDAQ was down fairly significantly. The NASDAQ, for the most part, has flatlined, for the most part, from the pre-markets to the opening, to the early, to the first half hour, and now into the first hour. Last I looked, you look over the NASDAQ, it was down about 80 points. Somewhere between 60 and 80 points is where it seems to have been as we got through the pre-market into now. And the Dow itself, yeah, we had some pretty decent pressure early on, some triple-digit pressure. That got bought back, and then suddenly we started to give up a little bit more. I'm going to take a little bit of a peek. Now we're giving up even a little bit more, 150 points to the downside for the Dow. So yes, back to triple digits on those losses. We had crude moving up and over. It was trading below 65. It started to move to the upside, got up towards 65.5, up maybe call it 0.25% or so, nothing big. But that's the area that we are seeing some of the most positive, the most green has been in energy. Sectors that certainly have stayed in the red today. You look right away, you look at technology. Obviously, when you look at the NASDAQ, that sort of says it all. You look at technology, you look at the SMH, and you look at the biotechs. Biotechs were hanging in there pretty good. On the other hand, you look over at semiconductors along with tech stocks, and you can see some definite pressure there. So one of the biggest stories of the day, absolutely no doubt, it was coming in over the weekend, and this big, huge merger of entities that are getting put together with Discovery and this Warner Media. That certainly has stolen the show in terms of news of the day. There's no doubt about that. A monstrous streaming competitive landscape just got that much more competitive. And we will see how well they're able to put this whole thing together. And it certainly does give you a lot of different options when you're talking about all of the things that go into the two entities. They're going to be coming together for this streaming, and it's going to be a pretty big, monstrous company. As a matter of fact, I was listening to some of the excitement of the guys that are putting this thing together and talking about cash flows and when they're going to start seeing incredible amounts of cash flows going out into the future. They're talking about 2023 seeing maybe $8 billion in cash flows. So certainly a lot of excitement, and that certainly has grabbed everybody's attention early on here. So I'm going to give you this. How about DUK Energy? We're going to jump right into some of the unusual option activity. DUK Energy. This isn't a name that hits very often, but when it does, it certainly is interesting because of the fact that it's not frequent. So we had a pretty decent sized buyer. Stock was trading about 104.60, 6,700 of the June 110 calls. So they're just out of the money, $5 call it, out of the money calls. They were going for 40 cents up to us about 65 cents. It's going to take a pretty swift move to the upside between here and June to cause these options to move to the upside, but somebody out there certainly has a bullish tone right now going into DUK, and we know what's been going on with energy. You just heard me talking about that, and let's not forget, this move started back in late October, early November, talking about oil, natural gas, all of that moving, but oil down in the 38s, and here we are, I mentioned just a little while ago, trading somewhere above 65 or thereabouts. We have had a lot of hits, this is the second unusual, in the Chinese educational world, and why? I don't really know all the details, so I apologize about that. But we have seen multiple different names here. EDU is the one that's hitting today. That's New Oriental Education and Tech. Now, this one's hitting. Stock was trading about 12.10. We had a buyer of 13,000 of the July 13 calls. So just out of the money calls once again, 61 cents all the way up, call it 80 cents. And we'll see. Stock was trading, as I say, about 12.10 at the time of that trade. Really excited about the day. Hope you guys are too. We've got a swamp day in front of me. I got to do some radio coming up. Then we've got the cash flow portfolio. I think John's going to be on the halftime report as well today. Real busy day for the Market Rebellion. We're excited about that. Tomorrow, I will be back right here, 9:30 Central Time, and I'll be on the halftime report as well tomorrow. Folks, have a great day of trading.